answers. Train them, trust them, and let them lead.
With your host, Marcus Aurelius.
And we're back. Special Sauce Podcast, broadcasting live here with my good friend. We've tried to record this podcast 3 times, and somehow it didn't come out right. I think it's the Chernobyl glow, but I want to welcome Mike Sorkin of Immortal Seats.
Officially this time.
Officially. If you don't know Mike, Mike is an entrepreneur. Mike, if you watch the Patriots very closely, Mike was the guy that drove Tom Brady onto the field for how many years? 17 years? 18 years?
15 years.
15 years. Who's counting?
Since day one.
Tom Brady found him in that best buddies thing that he does. But I got to tell you, Mike Sorkin is one of the hardest working guys I know. Mike's background, just to give you a little bit on him, I know he's going to glow. He's got that Chernobyl glow. Mike, if you don't know, Mike grew up in Russia, came here, immigrated at a very young age and had to learn English. So it wasn't his first language. So he is an immigrant. He is that success story. And here's what happened. Mike, for years, right? I met Mike in my days at a school here in Rhode Island. And then I bought a truck from him. Mysteriously, I hadn't seen him in years, and I bought a truck from him. We became friends ever since. We lived pretty close. But we've been keeping in touch forever, and we've helped each other in many ways, and we've watched each other grow. And I got to tell you that his story is a very interesting one. Not only is it an immigrant story, which is an amazing thing. I mean, the drive, the passion, the way to get things done. Mike was working for years in the automotive industry. And he came to me and he said, Marco, I'm going to leave my freaking job. He's like, I hate it. I can't take it anymore. And he started chipping away little by little. He started incrementally just, working on an app, working on getting ticket sales. I mean, it came easy for him because he had worked around tickets. He'd worked around promotions and he watched how things worked at Gillette Stadium. So he got an education in how to promote and how to keep things moving. But he didn't make the jump right away. He timed it right. And he just he partnered with a guy who already had a fixed base of fanatics that would go to Giant Stadium, which is another market that he could tap other than being around the New England market. So he found a way to geographically pick a few places where people had disposable income and they were willing to buy tickets. So then from there, he made a friend in Australia who was like, I guess he's one of the Hulk Hogan impersonators. And Mike was one of the biggest Hulk Hogan impersonators that you've ever seen. If you watch the Celtics, if you look at the Celtics program, remember the dude with the face paint that was like the Celtics warrior? Yeah, I'm sitting with him. This is the Celtics warrior. You've been a million things. He is the guy too in New Orleans. So he's a master promoter. He would go to the Saints game dressed up all the time. Yeah. Like you had a different outfit for this year. And I don't know how the hell you grew up over here and you're a New Orleans Saints fan, but that's another story for another time. I think you secretly like Drew Brees' height because you can still rub his head a little bit. They can say, hey, how you doing? But anyways, so Mike is an amazing story. Is an immigrant. He came from nothing and appreciates everything. He takes lessons, you know what I mean? He bides his time. He's very patient. He's a good business person. And I would like to welcome to our show, Mike Sorkin of Immortal Seats.
Thank you. The official welcome this time.
Immortal Seats, making memories one ticket at a time. I love that tagline, by the way. That's a great tagline.
I got to give credit to Dave for that one. So
it's Dave Matteo. Yeah. So tell us about this. So you started off as a partnership. How did that progress? Like, how did it start? Who brought it up first?
Actually, not so much story over there, but I came to his tailgate by accident once. We were just told, check it out, because the Saints were playing the Giants, and we just became friendly. And maybe a year later down the line, maybe a year and a half, because he has a lot of season and so do I, season ticket packages. So I'm like, hey, why don't we put it together and create a ticket agency?
Tell everybody how cool it is to tailgate with his company. His company's pretty interesting.
Family in the school there. We're back again this year with the Jets and Giants. I mean, it's unlimited food. There's entertainment. It's right outside the stadium. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. It's much better than spending $20 for a burger inside. Have a great time. Go in and watch the game. So it's the whole party atmosphere. We even have Gronk's dad actually comes to our tailgates all the time.
Wow, there you go.
Anytime Gronk was playing in the Jets or the Giants. So, and Dave has Giants players come up like Rodney Hampton, Steve Baker, former Super Bowl player.
Of course, Gronk goes to a
Yeah.
tailgate where the alcohol's included.
Of
He's got
course.
every dime he ever made, that guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, his dad's a heavy drinker.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, he's good. I don't
nice.
want to give him a bad rep. So
Very good. So tell us some more about like what inspired you. Like you grew up in Russia. Like what was that like? What was that like? Like where did you grow up in Moscow in the very rich places where they keep the pinky finger up when they drink their vodka? Or
No,
where did you grow up in Russia?
I grew up outside Moscow, but I also lived in Belarus, which is
Wow.
outside Minsk, Gomel. So I mean, it's like country style, but yeah, it's very definitely communist.
It was probably poor too. Was it a tough? It was a tough environment during that time.
It's poor. Governments own everything, and you're kind of limited. So you're limited to what you can do. So
you came here with the clothes on your back, pretty much, right? Like my parents, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my uncle already moved here. It took 5 years to get here. Actually, all the paperwork and all movement. So we got here in '92. I was 8 years old. Wow. So yeah.
So you're 8 years old. And you became a wrestling fanatic. Like you're the most fanatical wrestling fan I've ever met in my life.
That with Married with Children was probably the first thing I saw on TV when you don't have cable. Wrestling went on. It was just very interesting.
Yeah, it was very early days of Fox.
Yeah, the Hulk Hogan and it was Macho Man. It was great. It was like Welcome to America.
It's the Macho Man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So tell me about Gillette Stadium. How did you end up getting into Gillette Stadium and working there?
Well, I was going to Johnson & Wales, majoring in sports and entertainment event management, and I saw some job opportunities. So at first I was going to intern there, but then I decided I actually don't want to pursue that career anymore. So there was some security jobs, and I said, hey, you know what? This would be fun. So, I mean, even back then I was more of a hardcore Patriots fan before I became
They let you in being a Russian spy? They let you into Gillette Stadium?
They like Russian spies. They're perfect for the job.
So yeah, the glow kept them safe because everybody could see around your glow. So
that's right.
The Chernobyl glow.
Bald head is perfect for security.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. I could see you from my seats. I could see you anywhere on the field. I'm like, there's Mike.
I had hair when I started, but I think the sun took it away.
So you worked at Gillette for a while. You had these things going, and you started the business while you were at the car dealership. So you had like 2 jobs, and you started the business. How the hell did you manage that?
Well, I thought it was a good idea because you need to have backup income because in order to start a business, you need some kind of money. And if I just started straight out and just quit the car business, if the business fails or whatever, then I have nothing. Mm-hmm. So I thought the only way to transition is the best way to transition. I had good income coming in, and I'd used it to start a new business. So it was a good idea. I know a lot of people take a chance and there's nothing wrong with it and they go into a new business, but if it fails, now you got nothing. So I always have a backup plan.
So you came to me. It's funny because we were sharing an office, and my podcast originally was recorded at your office for a while.
Correct.
And we would share an office, and you came to me one day. It was like January of not last year, the year before.
March.
It was March.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like early March, wasn't it?
2009.
2020.
I mean, I was killing it, and then the day NBA canceled, that's when everything fell apart. It was March 13th. I can't forget that day, 2020. Everything started canceling, so we had to start refunding. So we went from possibly going to hit 1.8 million in gross sales. I predicted we ended the year with probably, I think, a little over 400,000. That's the damage, but that was, only 2 full months in.
But with everything canceling, how did you spend your year in 2020? What was that like?
Man, it was brutal. I go in every day and refund, so I had to go outside and hike with my dog to get some fresh air and clear my head because after 2 hours, you're ready to blow it. So I was like, you know what? I know eventually it's going to turn around, but I have to do something else. So I used my marketing background, and I was like, let me open up another small business in the midst of this while tickets is dying, because, I'm doing like 20 to 30 orders a day now, which is what I was doing before. Some days it was like 50 orders. We went from doing like 20 orders a month, maybe 15. So that is a big difference.
It's a huge jump.
Yeah.
So tell us now what happened now. How did you pivot? So you made a pivot in your business. You made a conscious decision. Okay, here's something else I'm good at, and I can apply it somewhere else. How did you do that? This is for my audience out there who, was affected by COVID. You're thinking about your business. You made a great shift. That's why I have you on here. What did you do to shift your business into pivot?
Well, part of it is I think it has to be a survival skill, maybe a Russian thing. So because you can't, I don't know if you can really teach you that. It's like basically, well, when you have a mortgage and you have a lot of bills, you're like, so it's either it's over or you got to do something. So it's like your back's against the wall.
Yep.
So this is definitely a survival skill. But then thankfully for me, that's why I tell people to, have skills at a few different areas, because if something happens, you can start something or back on. I'm definitely not going back to the car business. That's why I starting it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. So I love designing. I love working on the webs. I was very good at social media marketing when I was in the car, even in the Immortal seats. So I put this all together, created Immortal Entertainment, started designing some shirts, getting some work to do some websites, social media. So I was applying my other skills while waiting for the live event business to open up one day, hopefully.
You did an incredible job with your YouTube channel. You had incredible guests. Talk about the guests you had on your YouTube channel. I remember the people that you had. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we had UFC stars, we had WWE wrestlers, we had some entertainers. So we dipped into that. So
Steve Young was on your.
Yeah, I got a chance to interview Steve Young. That was great. That was thanks to Jeff Benedict, the Sports Illustrated writer. So which actually he friended Dave Matteo, which was good. So all my networking I did over the years definitely came in handy.
Kenny Shamrock. You had Roddy Piper before he died. That was amazing.
Roddy Piper in the interview. That was actually for a year, I did the radio show, which was good. So it got me more comfortable being on the air. I never expected to do on the air. All I expected to do is sit in the back and just flip tickets. But that was actually good. That opened up new venues, and they opened up me doing live events.
You kind of have a face for radio. I can see you on radio.
That's all right. It works out good.
I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that opened up new doors. Rhode Island College, where I got to spend a year, and I used my networking to bring some hockey players, to bring some football. We got Roddy Piper on.
Yep. You had billboards in Vegas at one point.
Yeah, we had billboards in Vegas, Seattle, and New Orleans.
Wow.
So that's how good we were doing, because they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. So, but it was brand, marketing. That's throwaway money.
I remember you spent a ton of money on bathing suits with your logo on it. Tell us about that.
Bathing suits.
You had you were giving away bathing suits and giving away T-shirts. I guess the T-shirt thing.
Oh, the T-shirts. Yeah, I mean, we did everything. I even have this watch. We get everything. That's one of the things, actually, when I met Jaleel White, who appeared for us, he said, I've never met anybody who has
Urkel.
Who brands themselves like you do, because I literally put my logo on shirts, hats.
Oh yeah,
everything. I mean,
you go to your house, it's like the Immortal Seat Shrine.
Yeah, exactly. In the office, but that's where the billboards actually became, handy. So,
Nice.
So it's very important to brand yourself, because a lot of people they don't even put their logo or anything. Put on the polo shirt, put on the watch. You got to represent yourself every day. And I think if I didn't do this, Immortal Seats wouldn't grow. And one of the best things we did, although was not, so this is why I needed to have that car dealership. We spent $20,000 when we opened Immortal Seats, producing T-shirts, hoodies, and we're giving them away to tell people about our brand. And we weren't just doing locally; we're doing nationwide, Canada.
Yeah, there were homeless people. They picked up the ACI.
Homeless people.
They were wearing the Immortal Seat shirts. I think there was a crime committed or something. You were recently in Florida on TV. If someone wants to Google that that clip. It was hilarious, by the
It's
way. But
actually-
you got a lot of publicity in Florida.
Yes, they can see it on my website, my other website, which is jacksonvillejesus.com, which is as one of my creations.
Yeah.
So it's
Somehow
Trevor
he's
Lawrence.
proud of that, but that's
I'm
okay.
very proud of that one. That was one of my many. I got Patrick McGoat. That's a good one too.
Patrick McGo.
JacksonvilleJesus.com. Yeah. It's Trevor Lawrence, the draft pick of the Jaguars.
Which
he
he's
looks like
drafted
Jesus.
from a Florida university, wasn't he? What was he? Florida Gators, or was he a Seminole? Where did he come from?
No, he
Lawrence?
came from
Alabama, wasn't it? Alabama?
no, Tennessee.
No, Tennessee.
Yeah.
But he was one of the best players in the country.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So Jaguars drafted him number 1. So I always try to be ahead of the game. So about
Smart.
6 months ago, I'm like, this guy is going to be the big thing. I don't know where he's going to. I was like, well, probably he will land in Jacksonville. So I was starting already to coming up with a name, and I created the website called Jacksonville Jesus. I also filed for trademark, and I started creating designs. And NBC, ABC out of Jacksonville were on Etsy looking for interesting Trevor Lawrence, and they saw my stuff. We are Immortal Entertainment on Etsy, and that brought us to us. And they found out we have a website. They plugged the website. We had like 700 sales in 2 days.
You even had a time where you were on Ditka. Mike Ditka had a pre-party for the Super Bowl or after party.
Yeah, yeah. So our networking definitely has led to some cool stuff. I mean, we got to drink beer with Vince Vaughn, Mike Ditka. I mean,
Wow.
I mean Ray Lewis, Jerry
Ditka.
Rice. I mean,
Nice.
Joe Montana. I mean, I definitely got a chance to do a lot of it. So
That's cool. That's cool.
that was really cool.
So yeah. So not only
Never
have
stop networking is one of those things.
There you
I
go.
just that wasn't with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I like network 24/7.
So what are the lessons that help you pivot? Like, give us an example of some of the things that made you do, like, because I referred you to a lot of people, and we worked together with a lot of folks that
Yep.
needed that social media help. And like, you're a whiz at some of this stuff. What is some of the stuff that you do for people that they may not be able to do themselves? So what kind of stuff do you do?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that, actually, a lot of it comes to, lost the train of thought over here. So it's algorithms. It's basically figuring out algorithms because Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, they change it on purposely.
Yeah.
So I'm always there figuring out whether it's basically you need certain colors in your photo or you need so much text. That's very important in the amount of people you're going to reach. So a lot of people don't do that. So a lot of the social media marketing we do, this is part of our marketing we do along with web designing, video editing. So we do it
your
all.
stuff always looks very clean. Like you have like a nice look to it. And I got to tell you one thing, that placement, like when you place ads, like some of the things that are trending, like the Jacksonville Jesus was genius because it was trending in searches, right? So it was search engine top site.
So my whole thing, actually, believe it or not, this is what a lot of people go wrong. They think, they can just post on Instagram 3 posts a day and that's going to bring them business or whatever. That's actually not the way. Before I post something, sometimes it takes me 2 hours to do a research because to me, this is a business advertising every post. So I try to be something unique, and I also I try to post what others don't post. And I have some interesting businesses, like I have a kitchen remodeling, floor remodeling, I have portable sinks. I have sports. I have all kinds of industries. So I do a lot of research. So to people that think they're just going to get on Facebook and they're going to post and they're going to get sales, that doesn't work. You actually need a strategy.
Yeah.
And part of the strategy is, once again, is you do have to do research. And as easy as it looks, I actually spend time, several hours researching before I post.
Because you're a ticket company, you can make tickets for any engagements. You can actually do a private, like, sponsored event, right? Like that. You've done that before.
Yeah, we've done live events, and unfortunately, one of the events got canceled for COVID. We were going to do the New England Pro Wrestling Convention at Crown Plaza in Warwick, and they're not going to do that now until 2023. We can be like Ticketmaster, produce a live event. You come in, we scan your tickets, enjoy the show. We produce the tickets. You buy them on immortalseats.com or the Immortal Seats app. We can do it all.
And you've been like a magnet. You've created like a crazy mailing list. So you have people that buy from you regularly that
That's actually a
that
good.
you can target.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. So I actually took a different approach with Immortal Seats after the pandemic. I actually stayed away from social media. I do social media for others, but for Immortal Seats, but I focused on email newsletter, and our email newsletter is very large, and we do well. And out of that newsletter, not only we get a lot of sales, we get a lot of referrals. So, and we also, put discounts. I think a lot of people really miss out on email marketing. I think email marketing could be actually bigger than social media marketing, because you're marketing to the people you already sold something or aware of you.
That's right.
And all they have to do is, even if they're not buying, they forward it to their friend. We get calls, emails all the time. Can I give this to my friend? We make it like special discounts sometimes. And I say, yeah, why not?
The cool thing is for social media, for like 3 profiles, let's say they got an Instagram, a LinkedIn, and a Facebook, right? You don't even charge all that much. Like they literally, I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole you into a number, but for you do a lot, you're a lot less expensive than most of the people we've used, and we get actually better results. It's weird.
Yeah, and then I can do like small videos as well. It's not just like pictures, and I create my own content. That's the big thing. So it's not just about taking a photo of the text, like I said. So I really actually put in a lot of time, because if I don't do a good job, nobody retains me. And most of my clients have retained me over a year now. So
one good thing about the car business that it taught you is the servicing standards. What do you like when somebody calls you when they need service, when they need anything? Do you just like wait till Monday to call them if they call you on a Friday?
No.
You're shut down like these big companies.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You forward your calls to China.
I should. I should, because I like to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, not really. You answer the phone at 1 a.m. That's why I like you.
Yeah, no, but I definitely I return it super fast. I mean, there's a few days a month it might take me a while, but other than that, I'm very responsive. So I think that's the key, because to me it's frustrating when I buy stuff, for example, and like I was looking at a house the other day and the real estate didn't respond for 3 days. I was kind of getting frustrated. So it's the same thing. I still think it's very important to respond, and that's a big problem.
It's huge.
It's especially with these corporates. So
yeah, and it differentiates you. It's a big differentiator that you get back to people.
Absolutely.
So one thing I noticed too is you do an interesting thing when someone has season tickets, or they have like tickets to, like, let's say PPAC, Broadway, whatever it is. They own like a series of tickets and they can't go to something, right? Should they call you?
Yeah, they can call us or email, and we could sell the tickets for them. So it's that easy. We have like a 90% sell rate on all our tickets. It's impossible to sell everything. But I mean, even the last minute, we had people dump tickets to us, and we just had actually a bunch of people dump Red Sox versus Phillies this weekend on 48-hour notice, and they all sold. So
the Yankees game is canceled this weekend. I don't know if you saw that. The COVID Yankees players. So that's a canceled series now. It looks like that 3-game series in New York is a cancel. So
this has been same thing that happened with the Foo Fighters, who have a show this Saturday in Los Angeles. So unfortunately, COVID is making its way back.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a backup plan there? Are you gonna go back to the car business? Is that what you're gonna do?
I'm doing everything I can not to go back to the car business, because the hours kill you. You can actually make good money there.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
What was it like having your first Saturday off in like 10 years?
Well, actually, before I got completely out of the car business, I negotiated my last 6 months, because the dealership was bought out. So for me to work only 2 Saturdays, because I ran the internet department, I was on the floor. There was really no point for me to work.
You'd even be there
if I'm on the floor. Yeah, by having Saturdays and Sundays off, 2 days together is huge. Because in the car business, you don't. You get 1 day, maybe you get 2, but they're so separated, because you can't plan anything in 1 day. So although I've done some crazy things, like I've actually, on my day off, I flew to Los Angeles to meet with WWE, and then I flew right back and be at work at the same day. So I'm able to do certain things, but it's very hard with 1 day off. Yeah, so
it is.
I did what I
used to go to all kinds of events. I remember.
Well,
you do a red eye back from the Super Bowl. I mean, what's the use if you're going to be out there and have fun, right? So,
yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, I did a lot of, actually, I love red eye, because actually when you go on the West Coast, you don't lose the hours when you do it, and you gain the hours.
But then the next day you're like dead.
Yes.
Yeah, unless you drink borscht and do bear push-ups. You know, like you ride a bear with your shirt off all the way back. So you do the Putin thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So how's Svetlana?
I
Svetlana
fly
good?
a bear home.
That's good. Yeah, that's it. So tell me again, like, what is your strategy? Like, where do you see yourself next year and the year after? Like, what do you see for your two companies? Actually, three companies now. You get three companies now. You do the t-shirts.
So the t-shirts is kind of incorporated. So interesting. I'm using, going back to marketing, I'm combining Immortal Seats and Immortal Entertainment Online. I'm linking everything together. So basically, if you go to the Jacksonville Jesus site, so he's a football player, you're looking for a shirt, there's a banner to Immortal Seats, and you get a discount.
Nice.
You know, so everything is actually connected. So my goal is, so Immortal Seats is back on track, and God forbid, we have a few cancellations now, but I hope we don't get to a point because we're doing really good. But I'm trying to like make this like into a Walmart, because actually the shirts, once again, work very good with ticket sales, because like I have those bunch of football themed websites. So when you buy a shirt to Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence or Tom Brady, you're most likely interested in going to a football game.
Yeah.
So you got Immortal Seats.
Perfect cross.
Yep. And now and vice versa. When you're in Immortal Seats, we're going to start incorporating that in the newsletters. And you're buying tickets to a football game, you're most likely would like to buy a cool theme shirt of your favorite player or pro wrestling or whatever. So it actually works together. So I actually like to grow both businesses. So I'm actually focusing a lot of time lately on SEO. And we're revamping every website, and we're going to grow it together.
So you do SEO, web, and social media for people too. So if somebody out there wanted your help with that, actually, the other thing is too. You go ahead.
I was going to say, so the SEO, believe it or not, is actually more important than social media, and I started getting better results once I stopped focusing. And this is why I'm rebuilding my website. I built my website is like cookie cutter just to get us in the air. But like to do it right, the SEO is important because the keywords and how people search.
Absolutely.
And then, so this is actually one of the little tips and tricks is that, you know, because Google wants you to pay to be on top. If you have good SEO, it takes like 60 to 90 days to develop. You can do it without paying Google crazy money or Bing money or anything like this. So this would be one of the small tips. Invest, if you have a website, invest in the SEO. It's actually more crucial than, believe it or not, social media.
So you, it's interesting because you have an app too. So like people don't have to call you. They don't have to go on your website. You can just pull up the app and search for seats. You even have technology that shows them what the seat looks like, right?
Exactly. So for sports events, if you're buying tickets to Red Sox, let's say you got Bleacher 32, row 30, you click on that. You're going to see a digital image. So you see exactly where you sit. For majority of sporting events, that's in U.S. and Canada. And actually, what we started, it's slowly being incorporated as we're going to try to get more downloads now that we're back from the pandemic. I haven't focused on that. And what we're doing is, if you use the code SAVE5 at checkout, you get 5% off.
There you go. You heard that, folks. Save 5.
Save, SAVE 5, as opposed to a website. And we have no fees. So this is a real savings. So, and we're going to start advertising that on the website and everything. So it gives the people a reason to download our app.
Yeah. All right. So you
got to give people a reason. That's it.
Download the app. How many downloads do you think you have of that app? You got quite a few.
I haven't checked, but there's probably like a few thousands. But once again, the pandemic killed it because I was actually focusing on the strategy of growing it, and I stopped. Yeah. So now after the pandemic, it was just to get sales going. Sure. So now that we have the last 3 months, I'm back on track, maybe even better now than even before the pandemic. So now I can focus again. So
getting that app rolled out.
We're going to get it. So this is going to be thing because we did promotions before that. We were at like the restaurants nearby where people, you know, when you download our app, you can win tickets and everything. And unfortunately, like I said, pandemic killed a lot. Yep. So now we're back at it again. So
is that at, I'm going to ask you, Mike, for the viewers at home, is that from Immortal Seats, that app?
Correct. Immortal.
Go to Save 5.
Immortal Seats mobile app. You can download on Google Play or the Apple Store.
Joe's a big fan of seats. Joe, what do you go see? What's your thing?
I know most people in this area aren't big fans, but I'm a Yankee fan, even though they suck.
Oh no!
But you know what?
Him to say that.
Yeah, I know. but I love it. You know,
Damn it.
I don't know what the season's going to look like, but
Yeah.
I'll tell
I
you
can
what.
tell you what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like 2 sweeps from the Red Sox.
I tell you something
I think
about.
they're faking pandemic. They're faking the COVID.
I tell you something about Yankee seats. There, we have some cheap Yankee seats. We have
Right.
seats sometimes for like $10.
It's a good stadium. I will say, being a Sox fan,
Yeah.
going to Yankee Stadium and watching a game is like another world.
Yeah,
If you're a baseball fan, you have to go.
yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
go. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
It's insane. Yeah, that and I got to say that Orioles too. Camden Yards.
Camden Yards is
very
good.
nice.
Miller Park in Milwaukee is real nice.
Just don't
There's a lot
wander
of-
far from the stadium. You may never be found.
Yeah, you got 1
But other
mile.
than that,
You got 1 mile radius.
1 mile radius.
That's it.
It's in Baltimore.
Yeah, get in and get out.
Yeah. Don't look around.
Well, Yankees could be that way too, but
You know, Bronx. You know what? If you can navigate, it's not bad.
yeah,
Let me know if that's the right thing. I put the code up for Immortal seats.
yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, when you're in the Immortal Seats app, just that's it. Once you pick whatever tickets you want, you're at the checkout. It says promo. You enter save 5% will come off. Once again, there is no fees, so it's a real savings because you go to some sites and you take 5, 10, but then they load like $50 back in fees. You're not saving anything. So you're saving this as opposed to like buying it on the website. We figured that's a very good initiative. We're going to stop promoting this. This is just, I'm giving you the early heads up.
So I went to the Celtics thing where we got to get on the court to
Yeah.
shoot baskets. I mean, you know all the ins and outs of these things. So when somebody buys tickets from you and they want to do something like that, you're the guy to call. Like Ticketmaster's not going to tell you how to get on the floor to actually do something like
Yeah,
that.
you can't really get that with a Ticketmaster. So as far as these experiences, we're not going to do this for a little bit because we're going to let the COVID and everything. And once again, the Foo Fighters just canceled. And you just brought up the Yankees. I wasn't aware of this. This is a good reason why for like a full year. But once we're back in the swings, we'll do more meet and greets. We'll do like experiences for football and everything like that. So we're just going to sell tickets for the next year.
I'll
Get in
take
the
one of
groove.
those Scarlett Johansson experience. You know, just don't tell my wife. That's
Yeah.
but I'm just kidding. I'm being
Well, we're definitely going to be back. Probably not this year, very unlikely, but next year back for Comic Cons. Probably one in Florida though. We'll bring somebody, maybe Jaleel, maybe somebody else.
Jaleel White. If you don't know who that is, actually people probably know who Jaleel White is.
I couldn't walk with him.
Yeah, I know him as Urkel.
I couldn't walk with him in Rhode Island without him getting recognized.
People stopping him.
Yeah, well, he's actually very popular for Sonic.
You came to me and said, I can get, what was it, John Cena? No, who was the wrestler at the time? There was a pretty big name wrestler. You said, he's going to cost me a fortune. Maybe I won't make money. But I can get Jaleel White instead. And I looked at you. I'm like, why? But then I thought about it. And I'm like, the parents and the kids know who Jaleel White is.
Well,
everybody does.
Actually, his Sonic following was amazing. It was even bigger than family. I mean, we had like 500 people come to meet him from 11 states.
And
we
what did
even
that
had
cost a person to meet him?
It was $40 per
$40.
photo, $40 for autograph. And we had some different combo packages. So it was reasonable. But I mean, 11 states. And this was, even Jaleel told me this. He was impressed with how many people out of state. And he goes, it's all because of your marketing.
Wow.
He was the one that was telling me this. It wasn't me.
Wow.
So I mean, he went on Instagram and Twitter and he promoted our company and it definitely helped our ticket sales big time. I mean, he has a good following, but he told me, so that's why it's important. We hit Facebook hard, we hit Instagram, we created ads and it worked. And not only did it work here, it hit other states.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why it's important, you know. So
did he comment on your Chernobyl glow? Did he say that you glow a little bit? No? I put that lamp behind you on purpose because I figured get the audience to see the glow a little bit.
I think I can see the glow. I haven't seen the background, but I can see the glow. I can see the glow right now.
So we've come to the part of the show where I ask you the famous question, which is, Mike Sorkin, what is your special sauce?
The sauce is taking a risk.
That's it. Not afraid to take risks.
Not afraid to take risks. So I take a lot of risks and a lot of high risks. And if people who are not afraid, who are afraid to take risks, are not going to advance. So I will say that's definitely part of my strategy. Jaleel is a perfect example because everybody said, "Are you crazy?" And then I absolutely stunned everybody how big that was. And that's a lot of money. So I took a big risks and it paid off. I've taken risks where I failed, but you got to keep taking risks because you're gonna hit it. You're gonna hit gold eventually.
That's right. Too many people give up too soon, don't you?
Yeah,
think?
and then the other thing is the special sauce. I would definitely say this is very important. Is to be patient. As you know me, I always because everybody's like, "Well, how much are you making of this?" I said, "Give me time. This is not like this is a marathon. This is not short distance." So I think everybody needs patience. And with a lot of my clients, even when they hire me, I'm upfront. I'm telling them I will not give you results unless you give me $10,000 in advertising money in your first 30 days. Just like SEO, everything takes time. So, but if you give me 3 to 6 months, I will show you results because a strategy needs to be developed.
That's right.
So this is what a lot of people don't understand. Just like Immortal Seats, and I always knew it, that it will work, but I need time. I didn't know how much, but on my 4th year, I figured it out. And that's
Tell us where you came up with the name.
Wow. Well, Immortal Seats. Well, I used to go by. Well, I guess I still go some. So Immortal Mike Sorkin kind of came from Hulk Hogan, and I think me and Dave were brainstorming for a few hours one day, and we're like, well, we're selling tickets, so we're both. It was both of us came with the idea. How about we just do Immortal Seats? So I mean, you know what? It's a great name. It's memorable.
Yeah.
But what I like about this name is, especially when they had the shirts, people don't automatically figure out it's a ticket company. And I wanted to create something where people ask questions because if people know it's a ticket company, I'm no longer of interest. No. But now I have a dialogue. So I'd be at the airports and people like, so you sell like unbreakable chairs. Because Immortal Seats.
That's good. I like that one. Unbreakable chairs.
Yeah.
I actually broke a chair over you on video.
You
I don't know if we still have that.
Yeah. More than that, I think so. Yeah. I've taken some chair shots.
We love you though.
So definitely be patient and don't be afraid to take risks. And I think in the end, all will work out. And that's it.
You heard that from Immortal Mike Sorkin. Download his app. Immortal Seats app. I'll tell you what, it's great. You can literally search any event globally. You're not just the United States. People order what? Soccer tickets out in Europe?
Yeah.
Football if you're in Europe?
Yeah. So we're focusing on like US right now, obviously, because of everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. But once everything's to normal, we will have UK, Australia, you name it.
Wow.
But actually, you can download our app in 26 countries.
That's amazing.
So we have a big following in Australia.
Yeah. And your social media, you want to pimp your social media out?
Yeah. So we're actually on Telegram. You can find Immortal Seats on Telegram. That's my new big one that I'm working on being a master at, like why I was at Facebook.
So you've got your own private group they can jump on Telegram?
Yeah, we just...
What's it called?
It's Immortal Seats.
Immortal Seats, there you go.
So
Mortadell.
Yeah, and you can find Immortal Seats on LinkedIn. So these are my pet projects right now.
There you go.
Along with my SEO and website. So we're going to be building them like I built when I had Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. I know we can. And I really like Telegram. I think if you own a business, you need a Telegram.
So one thing we got is this is live on YouTube. This is live on a lot of different things.
On YouTube as well. I forgot about that.
If you can click below here, we are kindly asking our audience to subscribe. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out too on Instagram. It's special.sauce.podcast. We get a lot of fans on there. We're always looking to grow. And also on, if you go to Facebook, it's at Special Sauce Podcast. So stick around, folks. We're jumping on to Clubhouse next. We're going to have an Ask Marcus Anything. That's where you can ask me any questions about startup, about finance, about drive. Today I have a nice story too. In the case, I met with a gentleman who's raising money for his company, and he asked me a lot of very good questions. Had his notebook full of questions to ask me, and he asked very relevant questions. And when he left, right before he left, he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Damn, like you're the first person that answered the questions I need to get answered quickly." Because, a lot of people have theory of how to raise money. Anybody can tell you how to raise money. But when it comes to actually going to the people, starting with the close circle, then going to the next round and staging the seed rounds of raising money. That's hard.
Yeah, and I know a lot about that because I raised a lot of money for Best Buddies every year.
There you go.
I had to figure out strategies.
That's right.
And you can't just go up. Can you give me $5?
No, Gary V's book, which
Yeah.
I like, even though he's a Jets fan, I still pump him once in a while. So Gary V in his book, Jab, Jab, Hook, he says, nonprofits, all they come at you with is write us a check, write us a check, write us a check.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's a jab all the time, right? There's no combination. There's nothing else going on. So like, you don't want to look like that. That's the last thing you want to do when you're raising money.
Yeah, and that's one thing that set me apart, and with Best Buddies. So I know a lot about it. Yeah, you need a strategy, just like marketing. So
stick around. We're gonna get some web strategy from Mike, and you're gonna get some strategy from me on how to raise money for your startup. So, all right. So check us out on Clubhouse. It's starting up. If you're on Clubhouse, our room is Special Sauce Podcast. So we're gonna be dialing up folks in there, and Mike's gonna stick around and answer questions from folks. Join us again in Clubhouse. If you're not on Clubhouse and need an invite, please send an email to specialsaucepodcast@gmail.com. I have 5 invites. So I know that Clubhouse is an invite only place. So some people have said to me, hey, I want to check you out, but I don't have so if you've been listening and you want an actual invite, I will send you an invite. So just send it to my producer, Joe. And Joe, if he could wake up. Joe, you awake? All right, Joe's awake. All right, so specialsaucepodcast@gmail.com. Did you just give me the fun number? All right, very good. So remember, folks, thank you for tuning in. Specialsaucepodcast.com. Check us out on our website.
We're going to continue this, right?
We're going to continue this on Clubhouse on the Ask Me Anything hour. And we can answer your questions live. How about that? Just like radio or like TV. Get a face for radio. We're going to be on TV, though. So, but we're going to go to 2D here. We're going to go to Clubhouse doesn't have a video component. So you're going to be able to talk to us live and ask us what's going on. Like, what's up?
We'll hear him anyway.
So we'll hear him. Exactly. So yeah. So anyways, yeah. So they canceled the Yankees Red Sox for the weekend.
Is this off?
Can't believe we're in. So we're in.
Oh, okay.
So,
wait, when did this happen? How?
I was listening to sports radio today, WEEI. I'm going to plug them too. I was listening to WEEI, and they said that the Red Sox, it was the Yankees, like 5 or 6 players tested.
So I didn't.
Positive.
Yeah, it's
too bad, huh?
See, yeah, this is like
sucks. So here we are. I just opened the room, so it's going to take a little bit of time to fill the room. Let's see who can get in here.
Postponed. So 1 game.
All right. So saying I've got a weak signal. I'm going to switch the Wi-Fi to a good Wi-Fi here.
This thing is maybe running low on battery, this tablet. So just so you're aware.
Okay.
I mean, it's 28, so I don't know how much you're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that should be fine. 28. When my kids are playing video games, 28 lasts like 2 days. So yeah, I
will tell you this.
I hope it dies sometimes. Believe me.
I'm going to tell you something about Apple battery, though. Like this phone, especially XR, the amount of apps running in the back.
That's if you update. I never update my Apple stuff. I never update anything because as soon as you update, your chargers don't work and your battery life dies.
I never had it. So I'll tell you what. This XR phone, it's the second to last.
That's what I have. I have
no
XR
issues.
10.
No issues, even with the update. Now this iPhone Pro 12. The newer phone, 2 new models, the battery isn't as good. It's good, but it isn't as good as this one. The XR for batteries is unreal. I go all day without even unplugging this phone.
Those Apple folks are going to get our website and choke us out.
Yeah.
Apple folks get upset. You can't even mention Apple defects.
All of a sudden, this
see, the whole podcast would be shut down by Apple. That's it. YouTube.
I'll tell you something about when you develop an app and you deal with Apple over Google, how thorough they are. It is incredible.
Even on our podcast, Google didn't ask us anything. Apple took longer.
Yeah, my Google app was approved in like 2 days, but I had so many errors in it. The Apple took like a month, but you know what? I haven't called them once.
Yeah, they know it. So are you on there in
I am.
Clubhouse?
I'm in Clubhouse right now.
So I'm sending out the emails,
broadcasting here. Just waiting for folks to get in. So if you're not on Clubhouse yet, get on Clubhouse. I have invites for you. If you want to be invited and use it, it's great actually. I liken it to being able to walk in on board meetings in topics that you enjoy. So like if you're into finance, if you're into NFTs, you trade blockchain, you like wrestling, there's everything. A lot of them are business. So a lot of them are like, how do I finance my company? How do I start up, financial services. So you talk to financial advisors. There's all kinds of different things. It doesn't matter. I mean, even leadership, drive, motivation, gratitude. Our friend who was on the podcast is on there once in a while. My pizza guy. Remember the pizza guy I had on the show? Billy Manzo. Every time I go on Clubhouse, I hope he listens. He's on there all the time.
I got to give Billy Manzo a shout out, man. His pizza is, we're talking about Federal Hill Pizza.
He calls it Fed Hill. Fed Hill? The way he says it, Federal Hill.
There's one in Providence. There's one in Warren, Rhode Island.
It's called Federal Hill Pizza?
Federal Pizza is very good.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
His pizza's good. I like the owner's special.
He's been on the podcast. If you guys want to go on
to check out his pizza's amazing.
Yeah, check that out.
Is it a deep dish or is it like
he does everything.
He got like a 7-something from Portnoy. Didn't he get it like a 7-something? Portnoy liked his pizza.
That guy had to be smoking crack, I tell you.
He gave Tommy's. Tommy's he ranked pretty high. He ranked Tommy's as one of the best. The original
Tommy's is always one of the best. But but his pizza, like Manzo's pizza, man, I gotta say, I told him this and I've said it. The dough is just so fresh. It's just
if we're talking pizza though, if you're coming to Rhode Island and you're watching the podcast here, if you come to Rhode Island, there's one place you have to go to. It's not even a fancy place. It's like a window.
What's
but
this?
Rosa Mia in Johnston.
Rosa Mia?
Rosa Mia pizza. You got to have it. It's like crack. Don't go to Florida until you have Rosa Mia pizza. All right. Don't leave the state until you see
Rosa Mia pizza.
Rosa Mia pizza. Unbelievable. That is the best place. It's in Johnston, actually. If you look it up, it's literally like a mecca of pizza. It's home style, but it's got its special sauce, and you see that it's got a special sauce. How about that, huh? There's my endorsement.
I was waiting for that.
See that? But that's more home style. Billy's is more Neapolitan. So Billy makes the classic.
Nope, she's not showing up.
So Federal Hill Pizza, classic Neapolitan pizza.
See, we're talking about marketing. She's not showing up.
Portnoy stuff. They don't need the market. They're trying to hide.
Good?
Yeah, people are lined up out the door. The soccer mom vans line up 20 deep. So.
Let's see.
All right, we're in Clubhouse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add. I see that there's a lot of people we know on Clubhouse. So what I'm going to do is add folks that we know. I'm going to tag them. That's the beauty of Clubhouse is you drag everybody into the room.
Found it.
So if you haven't marketed with Clubhouse before, Clubhouse is the kind of thing where you can just hit everybody you know that's in Clubhouse, and you can literally say to them, "Hey, I'm in this room. Come join me." So it literally works the same as when you broadcast live on YouTube. So, you're getting all kinds of people to come to your room. So hopefully, So this is a trial run, of course, on this, but check us out. So I've gotten on here. I've been in rooms with, recently I was in a room with Dane Cook, the comedian.
Dane Cook. Yeah.
Dane Cook. And he was telling stories, and I get to ask him a question. I said, "Hey, I know you did shows in Boston. I was at a lot of those shows, and you seem to hang out and have a good time. What was it like?"
I think he's from Boston.
Doing shows in Boston, and he mentioned Bill Burr and like Rogan and all these guys. So he had a lot of interesting stuff to say. But he was cool to meet. And recently on the business side, I actually got to talk to Ray Dalio, which is the book writer. He's a giant hedge fund guy. Really bright guy. Like his books are really good. Actually, they're about leadership and kind of how to structure an organization. Very good. Ex-military guy. And so we had a lot of conversations. And what's weird is he knew some of the folks that were mentors to me in business. So having worked on Wall Street, mentioned a few people that we know in common. I looked at his whole LinkedIn, and there was about 10 people we had in common. There was 2 that we really know well that know each other. So I'm like, what is that? 6 degrees of 7 Kevin Bacon. So I'm only like, what am I, like half a degree from Ray Dalio, which Ray Dalio is a genius. I'm obviously not. I only know how to do one thing. I know how to help you start up, how to help you raise capital, and how to help you keep it going and not kill yourself. So,
Mhm.
so I mean, because it gets stressful. How stressful does it get in business? How many times
Oh, man.
did you want to give it up and say, screw this?
Well, especially when you refund people every day for,
I
for
know,
months.
man.
I know. I remember you were hiking and all that. That was good that you did that to clear your
I'm
mind.
telling you, if I did not do that, I have no idea what I would do, but I'm glad I did that. So,
Mm.
and I'm glad I have that dog because that dog saved me.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, nature helps a lot. That's what people like to like. I like to like yesterday I went to Jamestown just to even sit for 20 minutes and the waves going at you. It makes a big difference. I'm telling you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ride the Russian bear or did you go just by yourself?
I have not seen
Shirtless?
a bear.
Did you go shirtless like Putin?
It's
So just checking.
a little different in Rhode Island. in Florida, I could do this. Maybe not.
That's it. Florida, you'll be able to do that. Manatees will swim right up to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you ever do that? You ever go out in the water and you have like manatees come up to you?
No, I haven't done
It's
this.
weird.
Yeah, they have this in Tampa actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the Tampa Aquarium. You go in and you swim with them, and you
Yeah.
kayak with them, and you do
It's
everything.
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Looking forward to it.
Florida's cool. You know, we did one of those
Yeah.
fan boat rides. My kid was like so small.
Oh, what are
I think Elena was like 4 or 5 months old.
the Everglades.
And we brought her on one of these boats in the Everglades. And like
Oh yeah,
they give you a headset like this, and it was bigger than her head.
yeah.
You know, they put you on a fan boat. And I remember my wife had painted toenails and there was like alligators staring at her toes trying to get up. The guy used the back end of a shotgun to get the gator
Yeah.
off. Well, I mean, we went on an authentic tour, man.
Those
I spared no expense to go on this Everglades
those
tour.
Everglades is no joke.
It's no joke
they
at
got
all.
Some they have some like rattlesnakes, I think,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah.
I think we saw like bald eagles. We saw all
Yeah,
kinds
so
of
the
stuff.
eagles and alligators, they don't really
Unbelievable.
bother the humans.
I'll tell you, Florida, people don't realize it, but the park system in Florida, I know you like this stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's a pass, there's a booklet, right? And literally it's literally about this thick. It's maybe about 100 pages, but they stamp you. There's a different stamp from every state park.
Oh.
So we've done about, I don't know, 15 or 20. And I got to tell you, it's a hell of an experience. It's but
Yeah.
there's some parks in Florida, like Fort Matanzas. That's one up near Jacksonville. Really nice. You can kayak in and out of there, and you can go up to the fort. To St. John's is the area of Florida.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's a lot to do. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
like,
tons of
I
stuff.
like the Amelia Island actually.
Amelia Island's
Jacksonville.
nice. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really good.
Jacksonville. It's right off of Jacksonville.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ponte Vedra.
Yep.
Then you got down below, like down near Sarasota. You got Casey Key and like Siesta Key.
There's also Apollo Beach near Tampa.
That's nice. You ever been to
Yeah.
Jupiter? Jupiter's on the other side. It's
No.
on the Atlantic side. Very
No.
nice.
I
Jupiter's
mean, I
nice.
saw Cocoa Beach, Hollywood, and all
Cocoa
that
Beach,
stuff.
yeah. Barrett Island Parkway, that whole thing. Yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen every area.
Cape
pretty much.
Canaveral, they won't let you near that because you're a Ruski. Like they'll be afraid of you, like you're
Cape
spying.
Canaveral is.
You go there.
Which one?
How
says-
does rocket work?
I don't even know which one that one that is.
Show me. I take picture.
What is that Cape Canaveral?
Cape Canaveral is like where they rocket launch for NASA.
Oh,
They haven't done
okay.
that in how many
Oh, that's
years?
right.
It's been a while.
Where did what's his name? Where did he go out of?
Richard Branson for Virgin Galactic.
Virgin Galactic.
Imagine that.
It's an
Virgin
awesome name,
Galactic.
though. I gotta
I know
tell
it
you.
is a good name. And he didn't really, I don't consider that space. He was out in the outer atmosphere. He didn't land on the moon, didn't make it to a
Oh,
planet.
you don't consider that space?
I don't know.
Not good enough.
It didn't
It's
go to
just
zero
Shoot
G.
a rocket and come back. Not good enough for you.
He still had enough gravity to enter the Earth's atmosphere. So I mean, yeah, he went very far. I'll say that.
I
But
think Elon Musk is going to try to fly.
he went first. See, sometimes being first matters. You know what I mean? Like the Russians, they sent what, a dog, a monkey. You know, they said Milka. What was the name? Milka. What was that?
I don't even know.
What was the name of them? Sputnik. Remember
Oh,
Sputnik?
Sputnik, yes.
Sputnik. You had Sputnik.
Yeah.
You had all these
Yeah,
Russian.
got up there, yeah.
Yeah, I always think of that movie Armageddon with the Russian guy. He goes, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. Components all made in China." He's
Yeah.
banging on the thing. Remember that? That
Yeah.
was great. I love that scene. It's so true though. Every
It is true.
component is made in China.
That's what it feels like.
Taiwan Semiconductor. They
So-
make everything. Everything.
Well, China puts like Taiwan on certain boxes too for
ROC Taiwan,
Yeah.
Republic of China.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, you can't fly the Taiwanese flag. They get upset. Like even here, like they'll make you take it down.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
I lived in Bristol. We had Taiwanese students and we put up I bought the flag.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing them a favor. They're like, please take that down. I'm like, why? They're like, oh, we'll get a visit. Imagine that. What a world we live in.
Nobody
huh?
wants to visit.
Nobody wants a visit. Except for me. I like visits. I like when people visit. I give them my extra pizza. So, a little bit of vino.
We get a write-in over here and a question for Mike. Mike, you were talking about some social media before, and
Yeah.
this person writes in and wants to know what do you consider the best social media avenues now, as far as your business is concerned, and anyone jumping into a small business at the moment to start, to get started with.
Okay. So, did they tell you what kind of business it is? Because it could vary. So,
Nah, they're just asking your favorites. What you think is actually.
So I was always huge in the Instagram because it was image based, but unfortunately, just like Facebook, they changed their algorithm. It's very difficult to advertise. You get a lot of fake profiles and everything. It gets very frustrating. So I'm huge on Telegram. What's so good about Telegram is that you don't see anybody's posts or anything like this. And you pull up the contacts as soon as you start an account. You sync with everybody in your phone. And if you own a business, you create it's called a group or a business page. So you only follow who you want to. So nobody unnecessary doesn't show up in your feed, which is unlike Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. It's totally different. So I really think Telegram is great for businesses. And you can also, it's kind of cool. They have an integration feature like a live chat. I'm going to put this actually once I'm completing doing my new website. So when anybody wants to buy tickets or merchandise and they have questions, you're going to see a live Telegram chat, and then they can chat with us directly. So I'm very big on Telegram. Before that, it was Instagram. But once again, unfortunately, you got to keep moving. And once Instagram stopped messing around with the algorithm, where the amount you spend on advertising is not worth it anymore. This is when you make a change, and I don't wait around. And I think Telegram's great. They have 1 billion users. So you were not talking about 10 million, 20 million. They got 1 billion worldwide users. So you can definitely use it effectively for your business.
LinkedIn did the same recently, but I don't know if you saw that. LinkedIn said that you can only send so many in-mails. You used to be able to send 50 in-mails a day. Now they went like half of that. Like
yes.
20.
Yeah. So unfortunately, if we go 6 years ago, I really loved Instagram and Facebook. I got a lot of business, and we're going back to Jaleel White. When I did the whole meet and greet, the Instagram and Facebook is how we have all these people coming. But once again, they make it virtually impossible right now. And they give you a lot of fake profiles. And when you get the analytics, you have so many people visit you, but they're fake profiles. You'll see like Brazil, you'll see like Thailand.
How do they get away with that? I don't understand how anybody.
Yeah, they got in trouble. They had 1 billion fake users they found out on Facebook.
That's crazy.
So, so what they do is, because of the investors, they try to get in. They tell people, or like me, if I open 4 Facebook accounts, think about that. There's how many billion people in the world. If everybody opens this, when they go in and they sell Facebook there to investors, like, hey, we have 20 billion people.
Yeah, they're always mentioning how many billions of people.
Yeah. So I really like Telegram once again, because you only follow who you want, and it's so easy once again, because when you start up your account, it allows you to sync 200 contacts from your phone. So these are your friends. This is your family. So you automatically have an organic following. And it's also a great messaging service. It's encrypted, unlike Facebook or WhatsApp. They don't spy on you, and you can speak to anybody in the world. So it works like that.
I've been told my family's very good looking, and it's uncomfortable because a lot of dudes are always like, "Are you related to this one?" And I'm like, "Shut up, that's my cousin." It's not good. But Instagram has kind of a weird connotation, though, doesn't Instagram? Instagram is a very I don't know how to put this. My wife hits me when I'm looking at Instagram because there's a lot of gorgeous women showing it off. But how do you get over that? How do you still market and make money?
So what made Instagram so good as opposed to where people were moving from Facebook and Twitter is because Instagram was image based because people hate to read because
Yeah.
on Facebook or Twitter, especially Facebook, people write their life stories
Yeah.
and nobody wants to
It's
read.
politics.
Exactly.
It's garbage. Yeah.
But people love images. So you could sell through those images. But once
Nice.
again, what Instagram started doing is they started minimizing an audience. So, for example, Immortal Seats had 50,000 followers, but only like 2,000 or 3,000 were allowed to constantly see our posts. I had to pay extra money, so all our followers supposed to see it, which obviously makes no sense. So, what I focused on is once again, I was starting to focus on this Telegram, where it's all organic and also email marketing. I can't stress that enough. I don't know what kind of business you're in, but email marketing is
It's a
huge.
long and great answer. I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
to do it the Mike Sorkin way. What you want to do is you want to dress up like Drago from Rocky. He really did this, by the way. This is not bullshit. This is legit. He's here to vouch.
I actually did that.
He got dressed up like Drago. He went to Philly.
Oh, I didn't dress
And
up like
you-
Drago, but I had a USSR flag.
You
and
ran up the steps
I ran up the stairs yelling out
next to the
Drago.
Rocky statue.
Yes. And I got booed, and it was
Yeah,
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting booed at least gets you attention.
But I ran up those stairs though fast in just sandals. That was and I didn't fall.
Insane.
And I had other people falling in sneakers. So that it's on video
Classic.
actually. Yeah.
Joe, you got a question from a listener on financing. What is it? Joe, you got a seed financing, right? Seed round financing. You want me to read it?
Yeah, read that
You want me
out
to
for
read the
us.
question. All right, I'll read the question. That's okay. You wake up, Joe.
Yeah.
So ask. All right. So basically, listener out there says, I want to know about seed round financing. I have trouble approaching my family for money in my business. That my family kind of is worried about losing their money. So how do I approach that? Someone asked. Did you ask anybody for money to start up your business, Mike?
No, and it's very difficult because I hate owing people. I'm one of the few because my thing is I don't want to be in debt because if I owe you, I'm in debt.
Yeah.
So this is why it was crucial for me to stay in that car business and had backup income as I started a new business. So it's always good to have at least a little side gig that you can rely on so you don't have to ask for money. So even last year, I almost applied for a loan, but I didn't want to deal with government. I figured out a way to do it without it, and I was able to succeed.
It was a smart move.
Yeah.
Johnny Spaccanazzo that wanted to loan you money. He didn't look like he was
Yeah.
going to get stiffed, but we're being facetious and we're kidding.
Yeah.
With family's tough because
Yeah.
you know what? There's like three sides of the family thing, and I always talk about this. There's the when you have the wheel to run something and to drive the bus, the last thing you want is the people in the back seat telling you how to run things. It's a surer way to fail than to take family's money without spelling out very clear parameters.
I was going to touch base on that, especially with a family. When somebody owns you money, he's right. That's like they have control, and
Yeah.
they will give you direction. So you want
to spell it out. If you're going to do it, some people have to do it. So if you're going to do it, what I usually say is to do a note. Make it a longer term than you would normally expect. So you're paying a little bit at a time. So you're not choking yourself cash flow wise. Because some people are like, oh, it's a 1 year note. 1 year note on 10, 20,000. That's a pretty big payment for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if you're going to do that, do a longer term, try to get a longer term and favorable terms if you can. Now, equity, can you give somebody stock in your company? You can, but what you want to do is make it, limited voting, like just non-voting stock. There's ways to actually insulate yourself where you're still the equity owner in charge. I mean, have regular meetings, even if it's just you, have a quarterly communication that goes out to investors. A lot of times just telling them that things are the same is not that bad. You're still, inching along and keeping things moving. Not sending them anything sets you up for failure. Not communicating is the worst thing you can do. If you're going to take someone's money, make sure at least quarterly you get them some kind of update on what's going on. How do you ask? That's the one I get. I get that all the time. How do I ask people for money? What you should do is you should tell them before they sit down with you, I'm only going to present this once. And this is the truth. You don't want to beg people to join your bus. The worst thing you can do is to feel like you sold somebody on investing in your business. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. They have to generally want two things, either you to succeed or to succeed with you. So some people, they just care about you. They want to see you succeed. That's great. But the real gold is the people who want to succeed with you. What I always say is when you're presenting, like if you're in a business where image means a lot, there's a lot of businesses out there where projecting strength is important. Having a bunch of people at the table that bring something special to the table. Like when somebody says to me, they gave away equity to somebody for a website, they gave away equity to their accountant, they gave away equity. Don't give any equity away. Never, ever do that. That's the worst thing you could do. But what I do suggest is if you have services in trade and it's all contractual, when people ask me, why do I pay an attorney? When do I pay him? Or some people are way too early with the attorney. And I always say attorneys are the best for contracts that protect you and the investors. The only thing you don't want any business advice from attorneys. Attorneys never do anything good with business. I've been in business 25 years, never met an attorney who didn't spend more than they make and at least make 1,000 bad decisions because they want the equity too soon. They want to put a lien on something before there's even money coming out. That's not how it works. So what I got to say is your attorney is there to give you contractual advice. That's all. Really, that's all. Unless you're raising money securities wise, then there's a very specialized attorney on who to raise money from. Sometimes you can only go with high net worth individuals. That's very hard. Try to stay within your state lines if you're going to raise money. That's one advice that I have to give you. You go across state lines, it's considered a security sale. So be very careful on who you get money from. So, and that's where I come in. I can help guide you. I'm not an attorney, but I can give you all of the underpinnings of what you need to raise money cleanly, to actually have the right contracts or right attorney in place, and to actually have the language. Excuse me. How do you ask? How do you ask for money? Right. So like you don't want to ask them more than once. You want to invite somebody to a nice dinner. You want to make a nice little presentation. I'd hate to say it, but even though they screwed it up, Step Brothers had it right. Right. They, they had a video, right? And they put all the people at the table, that could write a check, right? Don't be shy about telling people to bring their checkbooks. I've got an opportunity, bring your checkbook without making it sound cheesy.
I always say,
So.
I guess when you ask, you want to be direct.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
hide around the bush.
No.
Say, hey, I need money. Boom.
And you always want people to know it's okay to say no too. Like, even though it's family, they'll feel pressured. You don't want that pressure. You want to relieve that immediately. You want to say, look, it's okay for you to say no to me. If this isn't a good time, if you think this is not something you can do, I don't want you at the table. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you can afford to lose 20, 30,000, whatever, 100,000, and you know what I mean? It's an equity play. If we do really well, you're right there at the table with me. We make money together. If I lose everything, you lose with me. Can you be comfortable with that? And let me show you why I think my educated guess, all the work I've done, everything I've built up to today, to date, says I will make money with this. And here's why. And that's kind of how you frame it. You have to let them know up front that, hey, it's money that you can part with if God forbid something happens. Because how many businesses after 10 years are even around?
Yeah.
We're talking about 5 to 7% of businesses even around in 10 years.
So, I always say also have a good, written down or typed out business plan. Because banks would ask for that too, to give you a loan. So,
of course. Yeah.
So if you say you have a thorough plan and it shows you how you can make money year 1, year 2, year 3, and they see that, that's a different story.
We do that. We do a thing called a pitch deck. And I had a gentleman today, and I mentioned it earlier in the program. I mentioned earlier that we had a gentleman who showed me his pitch deck, and I did a lot of tweaks with him, and I kind of coached him on what is the real way to use a pitch deck. Like, how do you present what you have on your pitch deck? And it comes down to having confidence in the exit strategy. Because if someone gives you money, they want to know when they're getting it back. The return is a component of that. But so many people focus on the return, they miss the fact that most people want to know, when am I getting it back and how is that going to happen? So having an exit strategy from the beginning is so important. Without an exit strategy, no one's going to invest. because it's like, okay, I'm funding you forever. That's great. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you got to move into my basement. That's not a way to propose an investment. You want to actually say to them, look, and actually this is where we had a former guest who has a book called Exit Rich. If you haven't bought it, it's a great book to buy. She talks about her 6 P's and how you value a business, right? So I'm not going to go too far. She talks about patents, proprietary stuff, systems, all kinds of things that value your business richly. That's the format and the formula that we use too to develop your pitch deck. Because if you have a quality business, right, there's only 3 legs a business stands on. It's people, process, and technology, right? Those are the 3 things. You invested in an app. That's the technology piece, right?
Yep.
You invested a lot in a lot of things,
Yep.
technology wise, right? You're a big technology guy like me.
Yeah.
People,
That's where the world is going. So
you aligned yourself with the right people.
networking.
Networking, huge, right? Right. And then process is the thing you've always been working on.
Yeah. I think networking is actually number 1 because I think that
It is.
gives you a little leap forward. So like if I didn't network like I did, I don't think Immortal Seats would have got off to a start it did right away. So I always say network every day.
It's funny that we were talking about this a while ago, but you had NFL players and wrestlers buying tickets through you.
Yeah.
You have clients.
They still
We're not going to
call.
mention the name, but they still call you.
Yeah.
You have NFL players.
Yeah.
They could call direct. Ticketmaster, they call whoever, their friend, their agent.
Yeah.
They call you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that says something about like the trusted alliance that you made. You networked so well. And you had an opportunity to market with some of them.
I mean, even for the years, like we're going back to Gillette Stadium, all the people that worked in TV, everything. I told them what I did, exchange information. So, wherever I go, it's makes it a little bit easier for me. So it's very important to tell people what you do, and that's how you network.
It's good.
Most people don't tell when they own a business what they do. Actually, I see that a lot. I have to pull it out of there. Like, what do you do?
What do you do exactly?
Even the smallest thing, like I'm not doing it right now, but even if you have a polo, you need a conversation starter. So.
Yeah, you always need the hook too. You need a conversation starter and a hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hook usually comes with experience. Like you're not going to know right away what your hook is. You're going to have to figure out what your audience needs. And that's where we are on the pitch. Like if you watch Shark Tank, right? Mm-hmm. Some people are good at sales. They oversell something and they don't know the numbers, right? So like people who are in the industry or in business, you can't just throw them fluff numbers. Like one of the things that they say on Shark Tank a lot is people are like, oh, there's only 2 billion people that have used computers. We're going to sell computers to the other 6 billion that haven't even used a computer. That doesn't matter. That has, that's not like anything that tangible that you can hang your hat on, right? Like a strategy is different. Like if you have the people, the process, and the technology aligned, and you can communicate it well, and you can say within a time frame, within the next 2 to 5 years, we know that if we get X in sales and we do this, this, and this, that our multiple will grow and will be worth X and will be a good acquisition for this company, or will be a complementary type company for whatever, a service business. Yeah. So those are the kind of things. It's a very clear strategy. That's like something where you can say, oh, that makes sense. That would be a good strategy. Mm-hmm. So going back to contracts and how you frame this thing, I'll tell a story right now, and then I'm gonna cut out. We ran a little bit of time, but I'm gonna tell a story about lawyers. There's a company that I did some business with that was for sale, and they had a deal with British Petroleum, which British Petroleum was their biggest client. So some people, and actually the story comes from the business broker that I had on my podcast. She told the story and I was involved in it. So the story is that fast forwarding through the deal, it's the company that was the acquirer wanted the actual oil service contract with BP, but the attorney never did the due diligence to see if the contract would transfer. So the transferability of your contracts is just as important as having a contract. So if your exit strategy is to sell your business, that's something you got to mentally focus on from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So, and some people don't think like I don't see you ever selling your business. I think you'll be 85 years old answering the phone on tickets once in a while, or having employees.
Well,
You'll be somewhere in Texas or Florida with a bunch of employees.
well, they say,
Hulk Hogan will be working for you at that point.
Yeah, I've actually.
Hey,
Stay tuned for that one.
He's working. You're moving to Florida. You're not going to be far from Hogan, right? He's down in Tampa.
No, he's there. I've already made a few trips, so you never know what's going to happen. So,
oh my God, just don't be in any pornos with him, please. Please, we're friends. I'm going to have to disown you. I'm not going to be able to explain that to my kids.
Good thing for you, it's not on my agenda.
So good. All right, good. I like that. All right, so thank you for being on, my friend. I appreciate it. My audience has enjoyed. Me. Yeah. We enjoyed this time. We've tried this like 3 times, and your dog ate the microphone on one of them. The second one, we couldn't get the sound out of Zoom to come out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen. You know why? I think this was the best.
Actually, this is good. It's in the studio over a Zoom call. Not a huge fan of Zoom. Hopefully I answer all the questions.
Zoom, so. I got to say, we're on StreamYard right now, and I keep giving a shout out whenever somebody brings it up. I'm like, yeah, I'll give a shout out to StreamYard because they were very helpful.
Very clear
and everything. Yeah. But Zoom
StreamYard
was
is much better
not
than Zoom. We're never going back to Zoom.
No.
So, and I'm glad we got you into the studio with that lamp behind you because now the audience could feel the glow. It's
try to balance out the glow. I don't know if it worked.
30 degrees in here because of that.
Well, thank you again, Mike Sorkin, Immortal Seats.
All right,
check him out. Download his app on Apple or Google,
and make sure to use the code SAVE5 SAVE5 at checkout. 5% off, and we have 5% off. We have no fees.
And make sure you click that subscribe button so you can watch our show. So, thank you again, and stay safe, folks. And remember, go slow, take chances, and be prosperous.
It's the Special Sauce Podcast. You liking the song? The sauce is good, man.
Some startup, finance, trade them, trust them, and let them lead.
With your host,